Welcome to another episode of Limitless Takes. I'm your host, Brian James, and today we are going to talk about the top 25 rankings in college football. We have number 1 Georgia, who possibly has the best defense for a college team of all time. We have number 2 Iowa, who had a big game versus Penn State, where they came out on top. Penn State lost their quarterback in that game starting, and Iowa stormed back and took advantage. We have number 3 Cincinnati, who had a big blowout win versus Temple. Number 4 Oklahoma, who played Texas, had to bench their starting quarterback to come back in that game. Rattler is not the greatest in my opinion, and he was hyped up at the beginning of the year. We have number 5 Alabama. After losing to Texas A&M, they only dropped to number 5. I would have put them a little lower, just barely at number 8, but they still probably are one of the best college football team in the nation. We have number 6 Ohio State, lost to Oregon earlier in the season, and since that they are on a 4-game winning streak. Penn State only drops a little bit to 7 in that loss versus Iowa, lost their quarterback like I said earlier, but besides that they were looking pretty good. Number 8 Michigan, they just undefeated, 6-0. There's not much really to say about them. Number 9 Oregon, they had their game canceled last week due to, I believe, COVID, coming off of a tough loss for Stanford, and they just got to get over that. We have number 10 Michigan State breaking into the top 10. Undefeated, some pretty good wins. They're looking pretty good. We have number 11 Kentucky, 6-0. That's a little bit of one of the surprise teams so far this season. They have a big test next week, and they got to get versus Georgia. They got to get over that. Number 12 Oklahoma State, 5-0. That's pretty good for them. Number 13 Mississippi, which is Ole Miss. Number 14 Notre Dame had one tough loss throughout the season, and they bounced back from that. Number 15 Coastal Carolina, 16 Wake Forest, 17 Arkansas. They're 4-2, but they lost to 2 very great programs. And we have number 18 Arizona State, number 19 BYU, who has before this week was in the number 10 spot before losing to Boise State. We have Florida, who's 4-2. They lost to Kentucky and Alabama, I believe, which they are still a good team. They just got to get back up on track. Texas A&M comes into the top 25 after taking down Alabama at number 21. They are 4-2 with losses to Clemson and UCLA, who was the very first week 1 matchup. We have NC State at number 22. They're 4-1. SMU at 23. They're 6-0. San Diego State at 24. They're 5-0. Texas at number 25, 4-2. They lost to 2 great teams once again, and I thought they would really beat Oklahoma, which with the way Oklahoma has been playing, and they just got to get back on track or they just will keep on going downhill. We're now going to move on to a couple of games of Week 7 for college football. We got number 12 Oklahoma State versus number 25 Texas. That should be a great game to watch. Oklahoma State needs to win that. Texas, if they win, they may bounce back into the teens for the top 25. We have Mizzou versus Texas A&M. Texas A&M, this is their way to show that they are a top 25 team in the whole nation, and they must make a statement. We have former ranked Auburn versus number 17 Arkansas. That should be a good game due to Arkansas hopefully bouncing back after 2 tough losses versus ranked teams. We have number 11 Kentucky versus number 1 Georgia. This is Georgia's first game as number 1, and their defense just always looks insane. They just got to show up for this one. We have Alabama versus Mississippi State. Alabama's got to bounce back after that tough loss versus Texas A&M and just keep on going from that. Number 4 Oklahoma versus TCU, who's unranked. TCU, I believe, pretty good record so far this season. At this point, I believe that anybody can beat Oklahoma. It's just got to be their night. Oklahoma just struggling with Rattler at their QB. I don't know if he will continue to be their QB. We then have Tennessee versus number 13 Mississippi. Mississippi, which is Ole Miss, should come out on top of that one. Tennessee has been a little bit struggling lately. We are now going to move on to what I thought of the Week 5 NFL season. We had Rams beating the Seahawks 26-17. Good win for the Rams, solid. Russell Wilson's going to be out for the Seahawks. Geno Smith stepped in, looked decent at the beginning, and he's just going to have to bring that into the next week game. We have the London game of Falcons-Jets, which Falcons won 27-20. Kyle Pitts had a great game in that one. We have Patriots 25, Texans 22, in which the Patriots did not play a great game at all. Their first lead of the game came with a minute left, taking a field goal by Nick Folk to give them the lead by 3, and then their defense held up. We had Vikings-Lions, which came down to a game winner. Vikings just need to they lost a big one to Arizona a few weeks ago. That's the only thing really holding them back. Lions, they just need to get a win straight up. They're struggling. They're always in the games for the most part and have a chance to win, but they never can close it out. And we have Eagles-Panthers. It was 21-18 Eagles. Sam Darnold did not play great at all, throwing a good amount of picks. We have Saints versus Washington. Saints offensively were doing pretty good with Jameis. Had a long ball to Harris, and that looked pretty nice for them. We have Titans 37, Jaguars 19, which is a good win for the Titans. Get back on track after that loss to the Jets. We have Buccaneers 45, Dolphins 17. Buccaneers at one point in the third quarter was 24-17, and then Buccaneers just started to pull away, which is what they usually always do, if not in the beginning. We have a OT game with the Packers and Bengals. Packers won 25-22 on a field goal after, when there was 2 minutes left in the game, there was a straight session of 5 missed field goals before Crosby finally hit one to win an OT. We have Steelers 27, Broncos 19, which the Broncos had a chance to win in the game, started to storm back late, got stopped on the goal line after a 4th and goal pick by Teddy Bridgewater, little thrown behind him, didn't give his receiver that much of a chance to get the ball. We have Bears upsetting the Raiders 20-9. Justin Fields started to act like that quarterback, which he is, and getting that starting job and getting that win for him. Big win for them. We have Chargers 47, Browns 42. High offensive battle. Defense really didn't show during this one. Herbert was looking really good in this one, and the running attack for the Browns were pretty good. We had Cowboys 44, Giants 20. Daniel Jones, Saquon, and Kenny Golladay all got hurt in this one, which is big weapons for the Giants, and they got to be back for the Giants to do good. And Cowboys, just great win as they go into next week playing to the New England Patriots. Then we have Cardinals 17, 49ers 10. Trey Lance's first start got shut down by the Cardinals. He was stopped short of the goal line on one of his runs as Cardinals took over on the 1-yard line in the beginning of the game when it was 7-0. And then, as of right now, when I am recording this, Chiefs are down 10-17 to the Bills in the second quarter with 3:04 left. For the final thing, we are going to do my Week 6 predictions for the NFL. I'm going to move through this quick. I'm taking Buccaneers over the Eagles, Dolphins over the Jags, Panthers over the Vikings, Ravens over the Chargers, Rams over the Giants, Colts over the Texans, Chiefs over the Washington football team, Packers over the Bears, I'm going to pick Lions as the upset this week over the Bengals. Browns ruin Cardinals undefeated as Browns bounce back after the loss to the Chargers. I'm going to take Cowboys over the Patriots, Broncos over the Raiders, and Seattle over the Steelers, and Bills over the Titans. That is going to be it. Thank you guys for listening.